From the first time I saw you, I knew you'd be mine. And from the first glance you gave my
I was a Trek captain, and it was a youth-led Trek, and so I was in charge of it. But when the time came, I had to go to a basketball camp with the Davis team, and so I wasn't able to go. And because of that, President Brown then asked me to conduct the fireside, the Trek fireside afterwards.
We met on August 25th, 2013. I went to the Trek fireside and I looked up and I saw him up on the stand, and the first thought I had was, you're gonna marry that guy. And it kind of was crazy because I was still a 9th grader and it was kind of weird, and so so I just kind of ignored the thought.
So I conducted that, and at the very end of the meeting, this girl, Callie, walked up onto the stand and gave President Brown a hug, and I just saw her and how beautiful she was. And so there was 2 girls in my ward, and I was sure that they knew her. So I went over and talked to them. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's Callie Brown. That's President Brown's daughter." And right then I kind of just gave up hope and thought, "Yep, it was fun to see her, but that was it." And then the very next day, school started. It was that first week of school. She just entered high school. I was a senior. And I saw her in the halls quite a bit, actually, but didn't say a word to her. I couldn't stop thinking about her or anything. And so by the end of the week on Friday, I realized that I had to do something. I had to talk to her, say hi or something.
Throughout the week, I just went about my week of school. I can edit stuff out, it's okay. And my parents came up to me one day and said, someone tried coming to your house to give you something.
So once again, went to these girls in my ward for advice, and they mentioned taking her a cupcake for completing her first week of high school, and I thought it was a terrible idea. But I did it because I just wanted to see her. And so I went and got her a red velvet cupcake.
I said, tell them to come back. And they did, and I saw Jaydon on my porch with Hadley and Emily. And I was so happy. I was like, that is the guy at the fireside that I saw. And he had a red velvet cupcake in his hand and said, welcome to the first week of school. And
congrats for the first week of high school. It was really pathetic, really lame, but I finally got to see her. I shook her hand, and that was about it. And then
and my mom said, all right, you have to promise to say hi to Callie every single time you see her. And so Jaydon said, I promise. And then from then on, I heard hi Callie down the hall, and it'd be Jaydon sitting there. And it always makes me so excited to see him after each class.
I kept seeing her in the halls at school. We'd say hi a lot. She was cheering at my brother's football games, the sophomore games. And I went to support my brother, but she was a bonus there, and I literally stared at her while she cheered. And from there, we just kept talking and got to know each other even better.
So for our first date, I had cheer practice that night, and it ended around 10:30, but it was on my birthday.
So right after that, I went and picked her up, and we went to Dairy Queen. And it was honestly probably a 15-20 minute date. And then I took her home and gave her a little side hug, nothing serious, and then that was our first date, but I absolutely loved it.
I just remember it was super fun. I always had a really good time with Jaydon and was always laughing. He was always making me laugh. And even from the very beginning, I always felt comfortable with him. And I told my parents that I kissed Jaydon just to be funny, even though I didn't. Our first kiss was on New Year's Eve. I saw it coming, but at the same time I was so nervous because I've never kissed anyone before.
I don't know, I guess we both knew it was coming. I don't know, we both did. And midnight struck.
When it turned 12 o'clock, I looked over and me and Jaydon were like, not right now, because I was in front of all my family.
And she walked me out to my car and gave me well, I guess I kissed her. But it was a very quick kiss. Almost probably didn't count, it was so quick, but
To his car, we were talking, and then he grabbed my face and looked at me and then kissed me. And I don't really remember it because I was so nervous, but I hurried and ran inside.
And then I went home, and my mom knew right away. I didn't have to say anything. I got out of the car, and she's like, "You kissed her." And it was awesome. Leaving Cali for 2 years, it was easy in the sense that I knew like I was gonna go no matter what. It was always a plan of mine. There was never a question of whether should I stay for her or go. I knew I was going, but it was hard knowing that anything could happen. Obviously, I was hoping I'd come home and work out, but I didn't know. In fact, one time I asked Callie, I was like, what do you think will happen? And she told me, don't worry about it, just get through your mission first. And that really helped me just realize, as long as I'm out doing what I need to do and I'm staying focused and doing the best I can, it'll work out the way the Lord wants it to, and luckily it's worked out the way we both wanted to.
So I still had 2 more years of high school, so I knew I could just sit there and enjoy it and not have to worry about going to college or getting married or anything. But knowing that he was leaving was so sad, because he really, truly, we became best friends, and we had so much fun together. We have the funnest memories of going and getting lemonade at the grocery store after school, and then going swimming and all that stuff, and I was going to miss that so much. But I was so proud of him for serving the Lord, and knew that he couldn't do anything better, and so I was all supportive of him.
She was sitting on my porch as I pulled up, and I pulled into the driveway. And I got out of the car and she just started walking towards me, and she just ran right up to me and gave me a huge hug. It was weird in the fact that I just think I was awkward and weird, but besides that, it honestly was perfect. First night was a little rough, but after that we just picked up right where we left off, and I knew that I still loved her.
Literally counted down the days for Jaydon to get home, and I was so excited. But also, I almost felt like we knew each other in a more spiritual way instead of, personal way. We haven't talked for 2 years, and in person it was kind of weird, and I was so nervous whether it'd work out or not. But I just remember when I saw him for the first time, I just remembered all the feelings I've had for him. And even though it was kind of awkward at first, he was a little awkward in his missionary mode. It was so amazing, and the next day I remember just thinking, how did I go 2 years without seeing him every day? I was so excited, and I think from then on we've pretty much seen each other and been with each other every day. I read a text from my friend saying that he was going to propose when we all went to the cabin, so I was expecting that he would propose when I went to the cabin, and so I packed these cute clothes for that week, and had these ugly clothes to wear for just Saturday, because I knew that all of them were packed when we went to the cabin the next week. And this was the 17th of December.
She read my text and found out, so I just told her not to worry about it, just to act surprised. She still didn't know how I was going to do it or at what point up at the cabin. But obviously I quickly changed my plans because I didn't want her to know. And so about a few days before I had planned to do it up at the cabin, I decided just to do it at her house on a Saturday. She had worked till 5, so I talked to her mom and told her mom that she needed to tell Callie, make up some excuse to get her to come home.
So I rode home, I walked inside, and we were all ready to go, and I was wearing maroon pants with a brown coat. So you can obviously tell I didn't know he was going to propose that day. And I was so excited when my family said that they have a video to show me, and it was a bunch of pictures of me and Jaydon, and the song Marry Me was being played, and that was a song that we always loved to listen to back in high school. And then it said come outside, and so I went outside, and he was sitting there, and there was lights and pictures everywhere, and I was so excited. And yep, he asked me to marry him.
At the very end of the video, I just told her to head out to the backyard and that I had a huge surprise for her. And as she walked toward me, I got really nervous. I was not nervous at all that day until she started walking towards me. And she got there, I gave her a big hug and a kiss, and all those nerves went away, and I felt so comfortable and so right with her. And I said a few other things to her, and then got down on my knee and proposed.
I love Jaydon because of the way that he treats me. He is so kind to me and nice and respectful and so spiritual. He's always focusing on Christ and what's important in life, and I love him for that. And I'm so excited to marry him because I know that we will just have fun together, and I don't have anything to worry about. And I also just love the good times I have with Jaydon.
First thing that caught my attention with Callie was how beautiful she was when I saw her walk up onto the stand. But the more I got to know her, the more I realized how amazing she truly is. She, and it's way cliche, but she really does push me to be better. She is very spiritual and so pure, and she really helps me to just take a look at myself and always make changes every day. She's always pushing me in whatever it is that I'm doing so that I can be better. And she's always, I know for a fact, as we grow, as we get married and have a family and grow older, she's always gonna be that amazing example of living the gospel. She's always gonna help me to do that. And that's why I just love Callie.